Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and welcome. I'm very pleased to be joined by Soren Rydbirk. He's the Chief Commercial Officer at Green Hydrogen Systems, one of the major global players in the electrolyzer market. So welcome, Soren.
Thank you very much.
So you're going to be speaking next week in Dusseldorf at the World Electrolysis Congress. Obviously, a lot of attention on electrolysis, a lot of attention on hydrogen and green hydrogen. But maybe just to frame the conversation, can you give us some of your background? How did you get into hydrogen personally?
Yes, I've been working in renewables for multiple years. I'm coming from the wind industry. I really enjoyed that, and I actually I am still a strong believer in electrification of the society.
Yeah.
But there is just a problem with that. That is the storage of green electricity. So we can sort of provide you can say, more constant base load for hard to abate sectors.
Mm-hmm.
And here I think power to X and in particular green hydrogen will play a role, and that's why I'm here. Besides that, it's not a young technology, but it's a young industry in the scale that we're talking about here. We are scaling an industry. We are building all new companies. We are building new supply chain models, and all that is quite exciting.
Yeah, and it's happening so quickly, so much pressure. We saw last week, we were in Dubai, and the signing off the final investment decision for the NEOM project, which in wind and in solar it took decades to get to sort of gigawatt scale projects, and now we've seen the first one already on green hydrogen. So it's certainly exciting times, and I guess there's a lot of pressure in terms of demand, in terms of trying to get the industry to work and scale. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, surely it does take time. It does take time to build new systems and get things working together, and it is a physical industry after all. What are your thoughts around? I mean, you guys are under pressure to ramp up production or to scale your systems.
Yeah, it's very true, and I like your comparison with wind, for instance, because I thought that was going very, very fast.
Yeah.
And you saw rapid product development. You saw that products been launched with a very short sort of frequency between product launches. So growing even faster than that is a huge challenge. We need to work with the technology scaling. We need to work with scaling of manufacturing. We need to build new supply chains. There are a lot of components from not from us, but from suppliers to us, which we also need to scale. So scaling the whole supply chain is a quite big challenge.
Yeah.
I think in terms of doing that, we really need to work in a very modular and very industrial way. Otherwise, we'll develop products that we can earn money on, and I think that's pretty crucial.
Yeah. So when you say modular industrial, it's I guess very much in the design element, designing things that can be replicated and scaled easily and stacked and run in series, which I guess is your approach to electrolysis.
Just exactly. I think we can learn a lot from the modular approach that wind is taking these days, but they didn't do in the past. They sort of jumped from very unique product to a next very unique product. I think we have to think in terms of working with modules where we can improve modules more gradually and scale based on modules. I think that's really crucial. For instance, as just an example, we have currently in the market what we call a smaller electrolysis module, around 1 megawatt, that we call the A series.
Yeah.
In parallel, we are working with a new product that will be launched for sales actually this year, which we call the X series. That's a 6 megawatt module, significant cost out. But if you're looking inside these two products, we have the same stack essentially.
Okay.
In one product, we have 2 stacks. In the other product, we have 6 stacks. We have some improvements of the stack, but essentially the same stack design.
Yeah.
That means that when we have a stack efficiency program in our technology department, that flows into both product lines, and that's an example of how we should work in a modular way.
Yeah. And is there much work to be done in the right at the base in terms of the sort of science and material science, I guess, of the, you know, I mean, do you have like all your R&Ds in-house, or do you take in from universities or work with R&D partners or science partners?
We currently mainly work with science inside. We have, of course, technology development projects with external partners and also universities. But we have a department where we're working with exactly materials. A couple of things that are important to drive a better sort of cost of energy or cost of hydrogen is working with high pressure. And working with high pressure, of course, creates put demands on materials and the design. But a second thing is that going up in temperature is also pretty important for the efficiency, and we are also working with that in our material department. Yes.
Yeah. And in terms of that modular approach, I guess when you think about end markets and applications and usage cases for hydrogen, it allows you also to address, you know, the decentralized market, and then, you know, major centralized, people looking at very much building huge, you know, electrolysis plants, and for them to be the future, you know, oil refineries of the future. And yeah, is that sort of flexibility it gives you?
Yeah, just exactly. I mean, I mean, if you're looking at our A series product, that's really fit for purpose, you know, maybe in the 1 to 6 megawatt decentralized applications. That's a product that is a plug and play product, so everything is built into it. So it's basically putting water in and electricity in, and then you basically get the fuel grade hydrogen out of the other side.
Yeah.
Very little engineering work on site, almost nothing. So super plug and play. Then the X series model, that can also be used plug and play. That will be for, let's say, 6 to 24 or 50 megawatt plants. There it's relatively simple to install also, but the X series is designed in a way that if you're looking at the power supply, the water supply, the water treatment and the cooling and so forth, some of these modules can really be scaled outside the process module itself. And thereby, when you go up to multi-megawatt installations, it will take cost significantly down.
And in terms of the market now, I mean, obviously there's lots of press releases, lots of, you know, projects slated, lots of interest building. And we're seeing the translation into real orders. We're seeing that, you know, the signing off the first sort of gigawatt scale project, as I mentioned. What are your thoughts around over the next few years? It's a question of, you know, steadily growing. Are some of the key challenges now engineering, or are some of the key challenges more on the softer side, be that finance or concrete policy, which is going to take the risk out for the financiers?
I think it's all of those things that you are mentioning in parallel. I think the market will be, of course, driven by investors and that is project developers. and project developers, they are seeking business case certainty. So we need to create business case certainty. If you're looking at policy and regulators, they can create business case certainty by either incentivizing the price of hydrogen, so supporting per kilo of hydrogen produced for, and that should be in long-term price agreements, if you will. Yeah. A bit like you've seen in wind, and what you're seeing that the US is doing now with
the IRA,
with the IRA, exactly. So that's a good example of how to create business case certainty. But you can also, of course, punish the fossil fuel alternative, and thereby you also create long-term business case certainty, right? But that's the regulators and policy. For us as equipment manufacturers, I think good, reliable equipment for the life cycle or the full life cycle. So let's say if 15, 20 years business case, that is crucial. So business case certainty for the investors is key. Then of course, the whole scaling of the industry. I mean, it is a huge demand that we are going to supply to, and building factories and manufacturing for that is of course crucial and requires a lot of investment.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I was gonna talk about how do you create that certainty that the product's going to work for 15 years when the industry essentially doesn't have 15 years history. And I guess it's a similar problem that happened with photovoltaics in terms of, creating bankable products. You had, the inspection houses, and you had the various, technical due diligence that underwrote those products, and likewise the industry, i.e. the insurance industry, in providing support for that technical analysis. Do you see anything, I guess, different or peculiar, or you just see that as sort of standard way to finance new industries and industries that are innovating quickly?
Yeah, I think again, if you're looking towards US and creating sort of incentives that goes for multi-year installation, that really provides a business case certainty. And it provides sort of a financial model where you can say that not the project developer will not take the full risk, or there will be headspace, you can say, in the business case for you can say technology challenges along the way. Also, the technology provider shouldn't take the full risk because we can't. We simply don't have operational data for the full life cycle to undertake that risk, or if we do, it would be a very expensive insurance. So again, I think that the business case certainty and how we are creating that with incentives is pretty important for helping the industry scale.
Yeah, and in a way, that piece of policy is going to provide the industry to scale. It's there. In thinking back to solar, there was specifically the German feed-in tariff that helped solar get on its cost curve. Likewise, feed-in tariffs that were specific to wind too. So in a way, the IRA is going to provide that bedrock to help pull the industry down its cost curve. And I think it's going to be interesting times. In terms of the demand side, I guess, again, you've got concrete demand cases, be it the reduction of carbon intensity on oil refining. So, that's a major market clearly. And also on the other side, you have the ammonia fertilizer markets, two big areas that need to be decarbonized, and will be able to again pull that demand through to maybe open up new usage cases for hydrogen. Is that how you're seeing it? Or you're seeing quite a lot of explosion of demand from new usage cases already?
No, but I see really different segments, and our equipment is fitting into various segments. We are seeing the mobility segment moving. I think that has been moving for a while. We are seeing that smaller units, decentralized hydrogen production is used to sort of get away from diesel generators and construction and the like. We'll see a lot of that going on. We are seeing that industry is coming, where many industries are working on a mix of energy sources. They are taking in more and more green electricity through corporate PPAs. They are doing that already, but they need a more sort of constant base load to sort of serve their factory. And there they also use, for instance, gas or sort of gas or natural gas, which they want to get away from. So replacing that with hydrogen is an obvious application area. And then you see the whole power to X segment taking off with the e-methanol and ammonia. Ammonia is really big scale. I think it seems like really sort of 100-200 megawatt of electrolysis equipment to feed an ammonia factory at least. And that's a pretty big step compared to what has been installed so far. If you're looking at green methanol, this is a bit smaller scale. Everything from let's say 30 to 50 megawatt electrolysis capacity. You're seeing multiple of those projects, and we are also engaged in power to methanol projects.
Excellent. Yeah, certainly exciting times, and it's going to be an interesting ride, I think, over the next sort of 4 or 5 years as everything gathers pace, and it's a fascinating industry to be tracking and to be accelerating, and we wish you all the success at Green Hydrogen Systems, and we look forward to helping you build your business and ultimately decarbonize all of the industries and open up a lot of new usage cases. So it's been great to talk to you. I know you're very busy, but we look forward to you taking part in the World Electrolysis Congress next week in Dusseldorf and seeing the business grow. So many thanks for sharing your thoughts today.
It was my pleasure.
Cheers. Take care, Soren.
Cheers.